What is going on, guys? Need Dub Tap here, and as I said, I'm back with part 2. This will be my tips and tricks for Battlefield 3. I want to start out with tanks, because this gameplay right here is mainly in a tank, so I guess it only makes sense to start out with tips for tanks. So, here they are. Number one, you're probably going to want to deploy smoke early. Now, I know smoke isn't like a thing that everybody runs, but in my mind it's probably the smartest to run. It'll save you the most, and you don't really need thermals or the extra length one. I don't know what it's called, but I think smoke is probably your best option. So yeah. When I mean deploy it early, I don't mean like before the rocket gets launched, but I mean right as the rocket gets launched, you want to deploy it. Otherwise, it's going to be glitchy and you may get hit by the rocket. So keep that in mind. You want good timing on your smoke deploy, and you don't want to do it too early. Otherwise, they'll lock on, and then you'll get hit, and it's kind of annoying. Another tip that I don't see too many people doing is if you're using a guided shell and there's so much like obstruction in front of you, because it's guided, you can just aim your cannon up, and as long as you're still locked on, you can shoot, and it'll curve back down and hit them. So to avoid any like obstructions or anything in your path, just aim it up. And last for tanks I want to go over is, as you see me do in this game quite a bit, I'll get out and I will repair my reactive armor. It's really useful. It protects you from getting hit, I guess. It's pretty obvious, but I actually didn't know this for a while, but if you repair the sides of the tank for an extra length of time, you will actually repair the reactive armor, so you can get it back and take more hits and continue going. There's definitely weak spots of tanks, as you all know. There's actually one really weak spot where the turret is. It's where the like barrel meets the turret. If you hit that spot exactly, no matter what, it will be a one-hit disable, but it's really hard to do. So it's kind of, you want to aim for it for your first shot, but if you don't get it, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Go for the back, because that's where you're going to get the most damage. It's the rear or the sides. When you're using guided shells and you have a laser designator, you want to wait for the laser designation. It may be locked on and it may have the orange triangle, but if it's going through a second lock-on phase, you gotta wait for the second one to be completely done for you to get that one hit disable, which is really helpful. So it's better just to wait till you get the full box and diamond before you shoot your guided missile. Now, for when you're repairing a tank or you're the passenger of a tank, some tips that I normally roll with are getting out of your tank as soon as you see another one to hit it with an RPG. It'll do like 24 damage or something. I'm not sure exactly what, but it'll definitely help your crew get that kill faster. So if you get out, hit the enemy tank with an RPG, and then start repairing, your tank crew should be fine unless they have an NGs on theirs. So that's always a smart thing to do. Never use AT mines. They take up the repair torch, which is too important, and they're really only good in certain game types, and I just don't see the fun in them, or like the point, I guess, in them. They're kind of useless. Some tips for jets. I have, I think, 14 or 15 service stars with them, so I'm not nearly like the best with them or anything. I'm just giving you what I found out to be with them. And number one, definitely they are glitchy as anything. Um, the especially in air superiority, flares do not work how they're supposed to. But if you're looking for a setup, I would definitely run IR flares, rocket pods, and either air radar or stealth. Those are my main um, things I run with on my jet. Um, you definitely want to pop your flares early. Maybe not necessarily like right as you start getting locked on, but if you're a good player and you know how many beeps it takes before you get the full lock on, you want to, or like you want to basically pop it right before the enemy shoots their rockets, because in the game it's kind of glitchy and it will lag, and they'll probably have already shot before you actually like hear the sound, and it's delayed and it's bad. And so it, in my advice, I would say pop your flares early, or just avoid jets in general. Choppers, I'm more like I fly more of, so I know a little more about them. Definitely want to use TV missiles all the way. Guided rockets are good, but the enemy can deploy smoke and deter it. So TV missiles are definitely the way to go. Um, if you're not good with aiming them, try not like moving them. Have your pilot basically fly over, do a flyby of a tank, and only shoot it when you're right over the tank, and it'll go right into it. And yeah, that'll get disable instantly or kill or whatever. As a pilot, you want to use guided rockets. You can, you can, the things you can do with guided rockets are crazy. They're so much better than the normal rockets. There's not really any other upgrades other than like air radar that are any good anyways. So I always just use guided rockets, and it it's really helpful for taking out enemy choppers, because most of the time you'll get in a fight where you both shoot AA rockets at each other, and then you're really close to each other, and it's just a cluster in the air waiting for the heat seekers to regen, and then nobody knows what to do. So what I generally do is when I attack choppers, I get close to them, and then I just switch to my rocket pods, and I use my rocket pods on them, and it kills them really quickly. Um, but other than that, if you're the pilot, you take down choppers and jets, and then um, you let your passenger do all the work, because your passenger has a better gun and pretty much better everything. So let your passenger do a lot of the work. You go after armor and enemy jets and helicopters, and that's pretty much it. Support as like a class in general. Basically, my only tip for this is it's called support for a reason. Um, you really want to use it to your advantage. You don't have to aim at anything. It's a suppression class. You want to use it to suppress the enemy. Use the class to your advantage. Suppress the enemy. Assault, really all I'm going to say for this is that it should just be renamed to medic, because assault is useless. Engineer, look for environmental kills that you can get with your RPGs. Definitely never ever use Iglas or Stingers. Always, always, always go with RPGs, because it's a one-hit kill on choppers, and after a while you'll get really good with it, and you'll hit choppers a lot. So definitely go with RPGs. I don't have any tips for sniper class, because I hate sniper. Like, I'm just bad with them. IFVs are a lot stronger than tanks. Like, they will destroy any tank. So you want to use that to your advantage. Definitely have APFS DST shells, and just switch between the normal ones and those, and you will take out tanks instantly. The 6 shells with the APFSDST shells is 6-hit disable in the back of a tank, so that's one burst sort of disable, and that's really quick. They're more mobile, they're generally amphibious, and they're just awesome. Now, some rush tips for Downbound Peak and other maps. I see a lot of people not using Hummers or Vodniks, but it's got a machine gun on it, and you're pretty much invincible while you're on the machine gun, unless they like RPG you or something. But you want to use that, sit in the Hummer, and just sit on the machine gun and watch a bomb site. And if you're like struggling to take a bomb site, just use the Hummer, and it really helps out on Downbound Peak. Also, Vodniks are amphibious, if you didn't know. It's always a fun thing on No Shore canals, is just to take Vodniks into the water. Little birds, a lot of people have trouble aiming with them. I don't know if they know this or not, but there's a moving crosshair, and then there's one that stays still. You want to aim with the one that doesn't move, and just the center of that are where your bullets go. So don't worry about the moving one. There's also a laser designator in the passenger seat that everybody assumes is useless, but it's actually not. It's really useful. So when they took laser painter off of the driver's seat, they put it on the passenger seat. So it makes it more team based, I guess, which is nice. So yeah, if you didn't know that, there's a laser painter on the passenger seat. Only if you have a surface star with the actual little bird. Basically, when you're playing, you'll always want to be aware of your surroundings. Look for kits you can pick up to do certain things. If your teammate's down, pick up his kit, revive him, whatnot. When you're a sniper, you probably want to use a crossbow, because the SOFLAM is alright. I mean, it's not too great or anything. Motion sensor is alright, but the crossbow will allow you to take out vehicles, which the sniper class cannot do by itself. So that's only if you have the explosive tip, though. But yeah, you can take out vehicles with that. Support choppers are actually useful as long as you have a good crew of like 3 or 4. One guy on the machine gun, 2 guys repairing, 1 pilot. Yeah, you can fly that around and do good in it. The dinosaur, I call the Amtrax a dinosaur because it's so powerful. You always want to use this. It is probably your #1 vehicle in this game, in my opinion. It's amphibious, and it's super powerful, and anybody can spawn on it, and its machine guns are awesome, and its grenade launcher is awesome. If you come up against a tank, you're gonna win. That's all I'm saying. So just remember to use the Amtrax, or as I call it, the Dino. When you're on maps like No Shore Canals on Rush, and you're defending, try and keep the AA as far back as possible, because as I said before, the dinosaur will destroy it. So you wanna like back up and let your team deal with the enemy armor, and you take out like air stuff. That's your job. You're an AA gun. You're not an infantry killer. But if you want to use it as an infantry killer, you can. It's pretty good at that, but I would focus on just taking out choppers and stuff. A couple little things. Always take random shots. You might get lucky, you might not, but the chance that you do get lucky, it'll feel great. So always just take random shots at random points. I do that a lot, and as you see, it pays off from this gameplay. And my last couple tips, generally just be aware of your surroundings, try not to get shanked, and go get some dog tags. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. I love you all, and I'm out.